All right, we're going live. I want to welcome everybody to this Thursday night team Zoom. I've been doing this thing for years and years and years. I'm going into my 19th year full time with Mark Pentecost Networks Global, and I'm gonna get right to the point. In history, we're all in the quarantine time. It's not just America, not just your state; it's the entire globe. But I really feel like we're going to come out of this better than we've ever had. And I think it's going to be a reset. And I think, and Susan, I know you'll agree with me. I want you to rewrite your story. It don't matter what yes or no does or who says yes or no. That does not dictate your future. At this point, I think when you have a time like such as I'm just talking to Susan, and I met her years ago, Susan Wade, an ambassador and Millionaire Club mommy of four precious little girls, a great wife. I know her husband well. I met her years ago over in Tennessee when she first come on with us, and she's had a great time with her family. She and I have been able to be full time with our children growing up with that value system for all these years. And there's a particular reason why we've been full time all these years. It's because we've very much got committed to make this a career, lifelong career, to go out and enjoy what's most important to us, which is our families. I've been with Miss Lackey for 41 years, and I got two little girls, and my little girls are grown now. And these memories, you can't take them. So what, Susan, I want to get across to you tonight, the ability you have, but right now is, I think it's the most opportune time in the capitalistic system in the entire of my 58 years of existence. I think this is the most opportune time for you to go out and rewrite your story, create, and it does not matter what happened to you 3 seconds ago to the day you were born. It's what we do from this day forward, and as we move forward, as we charge forward. And I've been through four ups and downs with Mr. Pentecost in the last almost 19 years. This is just another one. I promise you, after every reset that we've had through the years of growing a big business, I'm talking a multi-billion-dollar brand, we come out of it and we had a major run where people went from just whatever to massive amounts of income, to massive amounts of freedom. But when you start to define what it is you really want and what's really important to you. And I think family for Susan and I, and I'm speaking for you at this point, our kids, our families, and this way of life that she and I have got to live all these years. And I couldn't be more proud to have Susan Wade, Ambassador Diamond, multimillionaire earner in the industry. And she is not, she in the industry, she sets the pace. Susan, come on and give them your story, and then let's give them a projection for where you and I believe we're going to go in the future.
So I've been in the company for 7.5 years now. About 8 years ago, I was on maternity leave as a registered nurse. I desperately wanted to stay at home, and our incomes just weren't going to allow us to have kids and have me at home. It was just not possible. We would have to put our kids in daycare. And so I quickly realized we needed something else. And so I found It Works. I guess It Works found me, and I wasn't your average person that was wanting something like this to fix my problem. It just so happened that it did. I was looking at new nursing jobs, other things out there, and this kind of just fell in my lap. And so I really just busted it my first year. I got into the top earners. Within 2.5 years, I made my first million. And now 7.5 years later, we have 4 girls. We both stay at home. We wake up every day in Florida, which we just moved here from Tennessee about a year ago because of this business. And we paid off a lot of debt. And the reason we are here today and we have the lifestyle we do is because over the 7 years with the Pentecost, they've taught us to pay off debt. We didn't just jump in and make all the money and just start spending it. We put a lot in savings, and that led us here. And that's what we teach our teams. So here I am today. I'm an ambassador. I have another account that's presidential. My husband is a presidential. So it's just been a really great experience. And I'm just kind of paving the way for my own girls to discover how great network marketing is. And I'm really excited about what this year's going to bring. You know, I was with Mark in Costa Rica a couple months ago, and he said with just such passion in his eyes that we're about to go on a run. And when he says it, I believe it. And so, you know, quarantine may make you feel like things have changed. Maybe you're making excuses, but actually right now I feel like it's such an amazing time because people are looking at this business when before they kind of turn their nose up. But now I think Michael said 23 what was the number, babe? 23 million people are now out of work. And so people are watching. People are watching when you post on Facebook, when you send those text messages. They're listening now when before they may not have. And so I think right now is like the best opportunity. And then once quarantine ends, we're just going to bust it even further. And It Works is going to just take it to the top.
Yeah, Susan, you and I were on a Zoom earlier with Pam Souter, and she made a statement that stuck out. I already knew it, that It Works Global has more single millionaires in our company and all the other companies out there together. And out of the history, a debt-free company that has a simplistic system, a low entry cost, a low monthly maintenance to run your business, which creates a great healthy lifestyle to go out. That says something for our system. That says something for our product line. But more than that says something about the leadership here. And if you're made up your mind that you want to be a leader, see, I'm gonna let you piggyback off this. Every day I work hard to grow Rusty. My whole purpose in life is how can I not go into tomorrow? How can I grow into tomorrow? I read all the time. Not only am I a published author, I read books. I'm hungry to find out how Mark got to where he was. Is what intrigued me back almost 20 years ago when I just walked out of the bank and told them what they could do with it to come home to live that full-time life because my little girls, I was missing their time. And he said, you have to be a reader. You have to become a student of the industry. And from that point on, he would call me. We've talked every day for almost 19 years, every morning, very early. He would send me books to read or tell me what to go get to read because I was so hungry to grow. And then, once you gain that knowledge, you have to share that knowledge. You have to share that particular gift with other people. And here's the success for Susan and I. And Susan, you call me out if you think I'm wrong, but we never focus on our money. We've never focused on who we are, where we're going. The whole story, the whole idea of what we're trying to get across to you is we find somebody that's really hungry, somebody that's not going to waste our time because we do put a lot of value on our time. And how can we help you realize your dreams? What can we coach you to do? We're not going to do it for you. Whoever told you that is wrong. They've not made anything long-term with nothing. But what she and I do, our job is to help coach you tonight, put a dream in you and help you cultivate that and give you a specific plan of action, step by step of how to grow you from where you are to where you want to go. But it's never been about Susan. And I remember she and I was having lunch when I first met you with a group of distributors with Melody McFarland. We was at Outback Steakhouse somewhere in Tennessee. We'd just done a training. It was on a Saturday afternoon. And I could see she was so hungry. She had the hunger in her eyes. But you know what? Who can we help grow to the next level? And that's how you secure your success with this business. Would you agree, Susan?
Yes. I think I was just telling my team earlier that over the 7.5 years, the more I took the focus off myself and just made it about others, my check grew. And it's so true. Like, I can't be successful or the most successful I want to be unless my team's successful too. And so you just have to put that attention on the people that you want to help. And you never know what your story, even if you don't think you have a story yet, you do. And there's somebody that's watching and you are going to relate to them and they're going to want to join you compared to someone else, because you're going to show them, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. Or if he can do it, I can do it too.
The beautiful part about this, when we first started, and the numbers have drastically changed. There was Luis Maharis, Mark Pentecost, myself, and Pam Souter. And when we finally got started, there was a 3-to-1 ratio. But I have to give kudos to Pam Souter. She is the hardest working female in direct sales and of any person I've ever met. And we've all traveled all over the world. We've met a lot of people, but she consistently sets the pace. But one thing she said today in the Zoom, that whether you say yes or no, that does not affect where she's going. She doesn't take it personal. She's going from where she is to where she wants to go. And I promise you, this lady, she and I had like a brother-sister relationship. We used to fight like cats and dogs. We'd been traveling so much, we were just tired, we were frustrated. But then we would stand side by side. And I remember when we did wrap parties at a hotel, we had 66 people at the first event in Greensboro, North Carolina. We wrapped so many people that the ladies that were wrapping their hands looked like they got really small. And they looked like some kind of little dinosaur hands, sitting there. And we had fun with that. But the next night we were over in Wilmington, North Carolina, doing exactly the same thing. And that's how we grew this thing, one event to the next. And the shift has changed so much. Susan, I rarely leave my kitchen table. This particular spot is my favorite spot in the morning to get started. My dog, Duke, comes in. I'm drinking my skinny brew, and I get started right here. So would it be fair to say that you and I both consider our kitchen tables or your place of choice in your home? The quarantine has not bothered us. It really hasn't. And we can be
No,
millionaires right here.
I'm working, I work usually from my bed. Right now we're redoing my office, and the only difference is that my kids are like running around, and I'm also having to homeschool. So I have like our homeschool stuff to the side. So while they're doing their work, I signed 3 customers today while I was homeschooling them. And that's just, we just get it done.
Yeah, well, you and I build. You're in our organization, or we're business partners. But you and I build a little bit differently. I'm more the belly to belly. I'm trying to learn the new way of you young girls and young kids. You build strictly a whole lot on social media. I know you have the ability to do it, and you take advantage wherever you are. I know you're a walking, talking billboard. But could you give some tips and hints to the people for the social media platforms you use and how you go about it?
Yeah, so it's funny because I used to be the social media queen, and now I'm trying to catch up because there's new platforms out there like TikTok. So I'm always open to learning. So if you're just now, getting on the Facebook and Instagram train, whether you're getting into TikTok, the number one thing I'll just encourage you is just to be yourself. There is an art to it. You want to be yourself, but you also want to come off still professional, and you want to draw people in. I don't put out there a ton about what, like, all the specifics on my newsfeed, because I want people to be curious and message me. It's called attraction marketing. I want people to say, I know she works for a company and I think they sell coffee, but I'm not quite sure what company it is. And so a lot of people, if you look at my posts, I don't give all the information away. It's kind of like going on a first date. You don't give it all away on your first date. So like when someone goes to my profile, I show them me, I show them my family, I show them, that I do sell coffee and other things. They can kind of get a feel for that, but they start falling in love with who I am. And so if you're somebody that feels stuck, it probably means that you are not staying true to who you are. And Pam talked about that today. You can copy and paste VIP leader statuses all day long, but if it doesn't come from the heart, people can feel that. And so there are great examples of opportunity posts that you can make, product, you can get into host to post. There's so many different avenues that you can go to YouTube and look it up, but always come back to staying true to you. People buy from me. I had a girl today, she became my customer, and she said, "Thank you for not hounding me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "I've had so many people add me, and the first thing they do is spam me with their website. You got to know me, and that's why I'm choosing to order through you." And that's just a huge eye opener. And, I'm not the biggest recruiter out there. I'm really not, but I get my steps to success done every single month. And here I am, and I'm very consistent. I would call myself very consistent. I may not be like the top recruiter, but I'm telling you guys that you can do it too.
Yeah, the beautiful part about that, I really have to say this, Susan, but you're consistently in the top money earners in the entire industry, not just our company, but the industry. And for that, you have the ability here to earn. I don't know. The only thing that limits you, I believe, is your ability to dream and believe in yourself to make that kind of lifestyle. Susan, I want to ask you something. And, I remember the story you told me in Tennessee. You and I were on the ranch playing this summer a little bit, or last summer, and had a chance to talk. Did you ever believe you'd be living in a multi-million-dollar home, debt-free, over in Florida, your dream location, with I'm talking about a gorgeous family? It's just like the American dream family. Did you ever believe, go 7.5 years ago, that summer of July, I believe it was, in Tennessee, all those years ago, did you ever really believe at that particular point that you'd be where you are today?
No, not at all. And especially being in quarantine, it's brought up a lot of conversation with Michael and I of just how different our lives could look. Like, I could be going to the hospital right now and bringing home germs and having to think about the kids and maybe having to separate. I mean, there's just so many different, like, I have goosebumps right now. There's so many different scenarios that I go, what if I would not have found this? And not just my life would be different, but like all of the people who are on my team and their lives have changed. I mean, we still own a home back in Tennessee, and we've made best friends through It Works, and they now are our renters. And so like, I think of them, and now they're able to put their little boys through elementary school that's in a good district when before they wouldn't. So like, little things like that, you guys, like you don't realize the impact of your decision of saying yes and how it can just change just the trajectory of so much, and like the generations that will be changed. Like my kids, they're going to grow up seeing something different, and they're going to want different, and they're going to teach their kids to do that. And so it's really remarkable. It truly is.
Well, you talk about the generations, that's where you start to create that legendary legacy. And so when you got started and you really started hitting that good run, and it was very quick, I think you almost broke every record in the company, hitting your first $1 million, and you're still hungry going after it. That just the one thing that I can say that we've watched you all these years is you grew, you got very committed. And could you tell us what really gave you the ump? I know we've all been through crazy stuff. We all have ups and downs, this, that, and the other. But what was the one thing that kept you so committed with that bulldog tenaciousness that you've got around the clock? Go get it. You're going to win it, but your team consistently wins. That's what I love about you, Susan.
I think in the beginning, it was not having to put Vivian in daycare and hearing somebody from my family tell me that I couldn't do it, and that I was going to be an embarrassment to the family, and that I would regret the decision for the rest of my life. And then when we started looking at like more expensive homes, this particular person said, be careful, don't get in over your head. And now I look back and I'm like, I really hope they were looking out for me. But at the same time, like hearing that made me just push harder and made me just want it more. And I proved that person wrong. And yeah, I see my friends that have to go to work and leave their kids and miss those moments. It's nothing I ever want to experience. And, you know, my dad was in the hospital a while back, and it was 5 months after Michael's dad had passed away. And so I quickly just went to his bedside, or the hospital bed, and said, I'm here, I'm not going to leave. And I was there for a couple of weeks, and he ended up passing away. And the fact that I was able to be there and drive to Memphis and just, I mean, I went to bed, I woke up, I went straight to the hospital. This was like every single day. And that's something It Works gave me. I would have probably only been able to go 24 hours and then had to head back and go back to work if I was a nurse. You don't get to take off time and keep the family going, keep the finances going. And so there's just so many different things that I look back and I'm like, wow, you know, the financial aspect of It Works is amazing, but the time that it gives you, the memories that it gives you, that stuff you cannot get back. You can't get back. And not that I would ever have a different route or stop It Works completely, but Michael and I have always said that even if it's just for this moment, like even if this is all we get, look at all that we've gotten, look at all the time, look at all the experiences. Like even if it went away, like even if I knew tomorrow it would all go away, I don't regret a single moment. I would do it all over again. I would still be in this company today as an executive or as a Ruby getting that pay, because I know I know how fast that I can get back to work. I know how to get it built again. And so you're in the right company. You're in the right place. It is one of the best compensation plans. And we've had many people argue that and try something else. And then they come running back because they see what an amazing comp plan we have here.
You know, guys, can you tell that Susan's still in the honeymoon phase of It Works Global in her business? You know, she and I have parallel stories with our fathers, and being able to show up and say, we're not going, and we're going to be here through the duration, irregardless of the outcome. That's when I truly fell in love with Mark and Cindy and It Works Global, giving me the flexibility, and I didn't have a boss telling me to get back to work like they did my three sisters that they had to leave. And to the final moment, I never had to leave. And the memories I had of seeing the security in my father's face that I was there. I'm not going nowhere. I ain't got to go nowhere. I don't wake up by alarm clocks any longer. If that kind of stuff don't spur you to become more than you are, so that's why I wanted to open the Zoom is right now. Write down, take a pencil and a piece of paper, rewrite the life that you're the star of the show. Rewrite your story. How's it going to be from this day forward? Off of the content you just got here from Susan Wade. I'm talking about from a nurse to a multimillionaire, great family, living a dream that most people can't even dream about it. And initially she couldn't eat it, but when she got that first taste, if you listen to what she just said about the daycare, just while I was doing it just for the daycare so I could be a full-time mommy. See, that's the kind of stuff that spurs me on. That's the kind of stuff that makes me and Mark and Cindy and Pam, when we get together, ain't you glad we didn't quit when it got rough that one time? That one dream we had that we was going to change lives and we was going to go after it, and we wasn't going to quit. We was going to show up every day, regardless of good, bad, and the ugly. No don't mean nothing. All we're looking for the people that's supposed to be here, and we're going to find out what they want, and we're going to help them go get it, and we're going to take them from where they are to places that their families have never been, because that's called breaking generational curses. And when you start to break those generational curses, what you're after is more important than where you are. And when you look at your why, those two little girls I had, one of them told me tonight, she said, we were talking, and she said, remember that one time when you were scolding me when I was little? And she said, I looked up at you and said, Daddy, I'm just a little girl. That almost brought tears back to my eyes, because at that point I did made the commitment to be what? A full-time father, because they wasn't the excuses why we didn't do it. They were the reasons why I did. There was the reasons why you just walk away and say, hey, I've had enough. They're more important. If I can be successful on my job, I can be successful in anything. You're the one that's got the success in you. So right now, what kind of fight do you have in you? Right now, you're sitting in a better time than Susan and I combined together. If you took when I started and when she started and the pace that we've set all these years, if you took us and combined it together, you're in a much better place than she and I was back then. And right now, it's the people that exercise to rewrite your story. This is how it's going to start, but we're not even looking for ending. We're just going to grow this thing, because now you're going to seize the moment. There's people scared. They're just waiting on how much unemployment they're going to get. Just like you said, how many millions of people just lost their job, at Michael said. Those people are looking for something. And I see a shift and a trend in America now. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're looking for that right, genuine person that cares about them and cares about their future. It's not going to jump on and try to sell you something. They're going to share an opportunity with you when you're ready. And now people are ready. Now's the time to create the momentum, because when we get on the backside of this thing at the end of the month, starts the next month, when they start easing it back in, you're going to have a lot of people that were scared when they left work, but they ain't going to go back. Do you agree, Ms. Wade?
Yes. Yes. And you're going to get more quality people that truly are hungry. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. It's been like the perfect Zoom, I think. So what was a couple of just tidbits that you give the people that they're going to go right now, as soon as we get off this Zoom and before I can get to record and download it and upload it to YouTube? What is something you would tell those people that we could start right this minute and start to seize the moment, starting to rewrite that story?
Yeah, I think do what he said and start writing down like things that you're looking for, things that you want, and then message 3 people that absolutely terrify you. And don't just message in a way that's going to sound like you're selling them. Reach out to someone and say, you know what? I feel led to write you tonight because I truly feel like you'd be the perfect fit for this business, and I want to work with you. I want to help you. Are you open to hearing more? Just say, are you open to it? Write 3 people that scare you and just see what happens. And they may say no. And then tomorrow, write 6 people and start working your way up. And you're going to notice that your potentials list, somebody may say, well, let me think about it. Or maybe they'll say yes. And so you're going to start getting that list together and then start looking at how to go Ruby, which is 3 people, and just start looking at how simple it is. And when you look at your potentials list and look at 3 people on a Ruby chart, you're going to go, I've got this. I can do it.
So for what she told you, print out your Ruby charts, print out your steps to success. That is your game plan. I played football a lot of years. And before we ever hit the field in practice, we had a game plan. It was written out. You had to know your plays. You had something to go by. This is a structure that sets the tone for success. Because now I'm not just playing no, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Step 1, 2, and 3. And you know what? Here's something that keeps sticking out in my mind based off, I've talked to a lot of people in the industry in the last couple of weeks. They're all running scared. We have a very low entry. Actually, Susan said that you could actually, the way it's designed, we're just paying you $100 to get in business with us with the samples.
Yes.
You have 3 steps to success, and to operate this business every week. Susan, I used to own a chain of grocery stores. I know what it costs to operate those boogers. I still remember that one. And I can operate my business for $20 a month for digital websites and digital apps, and $80 worth of DV that I'm going to be able to take to give my health back, that I've gotten my health back. You show me something better than what I've got, and me and Mr. Pentecost, I promise you we'll entertain the thought, and Ms. Wade will be with us, but I promise you it's not out there. Susan, I appreciate you being on the call. I know you're busy homeschooling those 4 precious, beautiful little girls you've got, still running a multi-million-dollar business, growing like crazy. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you and your team, and for all the stuff, the contributions you make, not just in the networks, but in the industry to help these ladies that don't have the confidence that you ladies have got. And I see these ladies begin to grow under your leadership, and I just appreciate it. Well, guys, I appreciate all you being on here. Take these nuggets. Don't wait till tomorrow, because I know you're not going nowhere tomorrow, because they told us we can't. So take this time and go out and start to build your fortune, start to build that legacy, start to break the generational curses, and rewrite the ending that you want in your story. Guys, good night. I appreciate everything. Susan, thank you once again for being on here. I know your time is valuable. But until the next time, y'all make this the best night you've ever had.